You are listening to the KNDY Radio Podcast with your host Kennedy.
Yo, what's up everyone? You are listening to the KNDY Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Kennedy. And this is the 20-minute news section where I talk about Japanese news and we get, into Japanese entertainment and discussions and so forth. But today was interesting. There was a mild tsunami that reached northeast Japan after a 6.9 magnitude earthquake. No damage was reported, and it triggered evacuation of some residents in coastal areas. The Japan Meteorological Agency, which revised the magnitude from an earlier reported 6.7, issued an alert for tsunami up to 1 meter for Iwate Prefecture following the trembler, which struck at 5:03 p.m. off the Sanriku coast at the depth of about 16 kilometers. The quake registered 4 on the Japanese seismic intensity scale of 7 in some parts of Iwate and Miyagi prefectures, but no injuries or property damage was reported. The Tohoku Shinkansen was partly halted due to the power outage after the quake. So definitely for those in Japan, please stay safe, especially those who are in Asia. I know there are a few typhoons hitting out there and looks like a bad one. So just please be careful and stay safe. In other news, piracy of Japan manga literature causes 8.5 trillion yen loss a year, according to a study. This is according to an article on Mainichi Japan. Lost revenue from illegal online viewing of Japanese manga and other publications worldwide was estimated at around 8.5 trillion yen, which is about 55 billion a year, highlighting the extent of damage caused to right holders by piracy websites, a recent study showed. Anti-piracy group ABJ examined access numbers and viewing times for 913 websites for the month of June. The group found that the sites offering unauthorized access to Japanese comics, novels, and photo books received about 2.8 billion visits during the period from users in 123 counties and regions, with total viewing time reaching around 700 million hours. Losses for right holders were estimated at 704.8 billion yen, calculated based on the assumption that users finished reading a 500 yen comic book in 30 minutes. This would translate to roughly 8.5 trillion yen a year, according to the Tokyo-based group formed by members from the publishing, ebook distribution, and related sectors. The issue of piracy websites has long been a major headache for Japanese publishers, artists, and authors as new sites continue to emerge, with many often changing their domains to evade detection. By country, Indonesia recorded the largest share of total viewing time of illegal manga at 12.8%, followed by Japan at 12.4% and the United States at 11.2%, the study showed. English was the most common language among pirate sites, accounting for 51%. Japanese was second, accounting for 16%. Chinese and Vietnamese were tied for third, each accounting for 6%. So, Ito Atsushi, a senior member of ABJ, said the study showed the damage was more severe than the group had expected, adding, based on the data, we aim to implement more effective countermeasures. So, thoughts on that? Well, we know, I think many people know that when it comes to Japanese manga, especially, and anime as well, that there's been a loss of revenue. And we know there's a lot of illegal online viewing sites, torrents, and so forth that have been around for ages. I do know that it is a very difficult process because once you have a lawyer taking down one site, another site shows up. And it's just it's a hard process, it's an expensive process, and it's something that a lot of companies know it's a big challenge financially to litigate. But the thing is, they go after major sites, and I know that last year there was a site that they managed to take down. This was Mangamura, and this was major Japanese publishers were awarded nearly 1.74 billion yen, which is about 11.09 million, in a lawsuit against the pirate content site Mangamura. While the firms have won a significant battle against piracy and the compensation was close to the full amount they demanded, they face a long war against news sites relentlessly popping up overseas. So it's been a problem. It's been like that for decades. And the government designated these. I know that they asked their telecom giants, such as NTT Group, to block access to it. So Mangamura's former operator was subsequently sent to prison for copyright infringement, and Akamatsu Ken won damages in a lawsuit filed against a Tokyo-based advertising agency and its subsidiary for aiding and abetting copyright infringement by advertising on Mangamura. According to the Anti-Piracy Group of Publishers and Telecommunications Companies, Authorized Books of Japan, ABJ, these actions have deterred Mangamura and other pirate sites, nearly eradicating them inside Japan. However, overseas pirate sites remain rampant. And this is something that has been a major thorn on the manga industry side. And I look back at, I think it was the 90s, when the anime industry wanted to prevent piracy, and they formed GELD. And I remember GELD would really go after individuals and pirate sites. But I know that there were plans of using technology that would prevent piracy detection. And I know in the music side, there was a time when they used copy protection on CDs. But what happened was, once they started distributing the CDs, the same type of CDs that were sold in Japan, in America, there was a lawyer who tried to sue, and unfortunately that led to the major label from pulling their overseas sales, because they were pretty much selling the same CDs, nothing modified, outside of Japan, and that caused a legal headache. So it is possible to block and to stop sites, but it's literally been a thorn, because again, you take down one site, something else pops up. It's just something that has happened for many decades. But I think with today's technology, there are ways to prevent things, but at the same time, it's just how much effort they want to put into it. It's one thing for them to focus on Japan only, but it's the overseas situation that I know that a lot of these companies have a headache, especially in other areas of Asia and Europe, and of course the West and the United States. So let's go ahead and move on to another story that came out today. 5 centimeters per second, the popular anime film. This one is getting a live action film adaptation. So this is based on Shinkai Makoto's 2007 animated film, 5 centimeters per second, which is a wonderful film. And the director who will be responsible is Okuyama Yoshiyuki. And he worked with staff around his own age. He studied the original anime to turn into a story and renewal and personal growth as a lonely young man comes once again to appreciate the richness the world has to offer. They did scouting in Tokyo and Tanegashima Island in Kagoshima Prefecture, and found places that were featured in the original animated film. So, according to Okuyama Yoshiyuki, the director, him and his staff wanted to pay tribute to Shinkai and his staff by taking on the challenge of capturing the scenes from the same viewing angle. Okuyama made a list of each cut from the original work and studied the camera movements, the expression of light, and other factors. So he opted to use a fixed camera for scenes in which Takaki, who is played by Matsumura Hokuto, spends his adolescent years. The aim was to show how isolated the character is from society. In contrast, he used a handheld camera for scenes in which Takaki develops feelings for Akari, his first love, during his elementary and junior high school years. So the aim was to depict a freewheeling sense of time. So I think, if anything, I look forward to watching this film. I can remember watching the animated film and also hearing the song One More Chance by Yamazaki Masayoshi, and such a wonderful song, such a beautiful song, and the lyrics are actually quite deep. But yeah, I think it's really cool to see that the animated film is receiving a live action film adaptation, which surprised me that it took so long. But I think that's wonderful. And before I get to my topic that I wanted to discuss today, just want to remind everyone that Tokyo is in full force with Christmas, and there are illumination sites that will be starting this coming week. Some that started already, but again, Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Skytree Town, Tokyo Midtown, Kite, right next to in Marunouchi, next to Tokyo Station. Just to name a few. I mean, you got Roppongi Hills, Omotesando Hills, Toranamo Hills, Arc Hills, and more. There's just so many events happening. So definitely check those sites out if you are in Tokyo for the holidays, or if you live in Japan. It's definitely worth checking out, because it's a pretty magical feeling when you go to these illumination sites. They're really well done. Japan goes really all out. They last through December 25th, and some sites they last through Valentine's Day or through March 1st, as they like to continue the illumination trend for a little longer than usually what people are used to seeing in the West. But it's definitely worth checking out. So now, today's news, or topic, I guess you could say. So recently, the number one Sentai Gozyuger actress, Imamori Maya, was terminated by her management due to smoking, and she stepped down from her role. She was the main female character for this Sentai series, and the sad thing about it is that this was supposed to be the final Super Sentai series on television. And let me read what she wrote on Instagram, which she later deleted everything, but she just wanted to post something to let her fans know that she sincerely apologizes for causing trouble and concern to many people due to her thoughtless behavior. Imamori wrote, "Drinking alcohol while underage is a very shameful act as a member of society and as a human being, and it is unacceptable for any reason. I'm keenly aware of the gravity of my actions and deeply regret them. I would like to once again apologize to all the fans who have supported me, everyone involved in all the works and co-stars I have appeared in, for the great inconvenience I have caused through this incident. I have reflected on my immaturity, taken seriously the fact that I betrayed their trust, and will sincerely re-examine my way of life so that this will never happen again. I am truly sorry." Toei posted an apology and report regarding the cast of number one Sentai Gozyuger on their official website, explaining, "It has been discovered that Imamori Maya, who appeared in number one Sentai Gozyuger, engaged in behavior that violates the law prohibiting drinking by persons under the age of 20. We deeply apologize for causing concern and inconvenience to our viewers, as well as to the program sponsors and all those who are involved." And her agency also had a similar apology. They wrote, "We take this matter seriously, and from the perspective of ensuring strict compliance, have decided to take the following measures. termination of performance, contract, and withdrawal. We have discussed with TV Asahi the termination of Imamori Maya's performance contract, and she will be withdrawing for number 1 Sentai Gozyuger. Okay. So, my thoughts on this. Well, we have seen this from time and time again when a person, may it be an idol singer or on a show that is usually aired for children, and of course people of all ages, any act of alcohol consumption and smoking in Japan is really taken as a serious offense. Kato Ai of Morning Musume and Minimoni, she was is an example of someone who had a wonderful career, got in trouble, got outed by a magazine, and next thing you know, her career ended for years. And we have seen this with other idol performers who also had their careers ended after they were focused and targeted and spotlighted by these tabloid magazines. Now, I know a lot of people feel, well, in our country, there's a lot of young people who smoke, who drink, and that is true. Even in Japan, you'll see people who smoke and drink at a young age. But with that being said, law is a law, and these companies tend to abide by it strictly, especially when they know that their talent is performing or on a TV show that is geared towards a younger audience. Now, the bad thing about this is that in Japan, there is a double standard. There have been many male performers who smoked, got caught for alcohol, got caught for sexual harassment, got caught for something. And yet, they were able to get their careers right back after maybe taking a hiatus after a year or two. For many female artists, it's like a nail in the coffin. They don't really come back. And I know this is upsetting for a lot of people, especially those who are fans of Imamori Maya. And it's something with Japanese culture that people, they want to see some repentance. That's usually many years of not performing. And as the person I mentioned, Kato Ai, she got caught smoking, was outed by a tabloid magazine, and she would never perform probably for well over a decade or more. We've seen this with other ones. I mean, it's just countless. There's other female performers who got in trouble and they're still not back. I mean, there's certain things in, outside of smoking and even drinking. Heck, if you question the management or your parents question the management, you could also lose your career and not be around in the entertainment industry for another 5 or 10 years. Now, there are performers who committed adultery that were able to come back because they were popular actresses. But for the most part, when it comes to talent who are on shows that appeal to a younger demographic, or music that is people, usually targeted for people of all ages, but especially a younger demographic. It's a hard thing to come back from. You see some performers, they become, they look for other careers, doing something different. Some who even go into a different field, unfortunately, some go into the adult entertainment industry in Japan. We've seen that happen before. But I know that there's a lot of people who feel that this was really not big of a deal because in their country, there's a lot of young people who smoke. In Japan, there's a lot of young people that smoke. There are male performers who are younger and may have gotten a warning, but they never, lost their management contract, and also were never terminated from a show. And this is unfortunate. This is rather unfortunate for Imamori Maya because, a lot of people definitely were rooting for her. Japanese Filipino actress, well loved, but we do know that there were some cracks. We know that earlier, about September, Shukan Bunshun was reporting that she had an affair with Asai Kosuke. I believe that's his name. The suit actor who played Red. There was a lot of talk, but at the time, I believe there was just a strict warning. But by November 8th, her drinking, suspicions of her drinking became a major scandal. And unfortunately, this is more of another story of another actress, performer, entertainer who got caught by a tabloid magazine. And it's just part of Japanese culture. Yes, there are repercussions. Yes, it is, very strict of a law, but at the same time, when it comes to Japanese culture, it's rather interesting of how things are non-balanced in this treatment of what happens to female performers and male performers, right? And unfortunately, there's not much that's going to change things because there are things within Japanese culture that's been there when it comes to, male and female in the workplace. And that, I think that's why you're hearing so much of it. I think there have been improvement within the last 5 or even the last 10 years of women speaking out and calling out entertainers who assaulted them. But there are some disparities that still exist. But I don't know if Imamori can come back anytime soon. She no doubt had a career as a gravure idol before becoming an actress on the Sentai show, but time will tell. Again, with female talent, we don't really see many of them come back. Some do. As mentioned, Kato Ai of Morning Musume. She was cast out. And just recently, she started, within the last 5 years, reuniting with Morning Musume, being able to perform again on stage for memorial concerts and so forth. But it is something that really is an issue in Japan, and unfortunately, in this case, it's unfortunate for her because I'm sure she was told the rules. I'm sure she was already, she was also told about Japanese perception. She should know, you know, she should know that. But at the same time, I think sometimes there are people who do careless things. Again, we've seen idol performers who have been caught. Some who, for instance, smoking, drinking, making out with another male idol, or even dating or out with their management staff. There are a lot of things that have happened, but when it comes to something like this, all I can think about right now is just it'll take time. It'll take time, and I hope to see her come back. I know there are petitions from fans who do not want to see something like this happen, and they feel that her termination from the show and her contract was unjust. And while we saw global opinion really change things in Japan, especially in the Johnny's Jimusho case, that was something that was a major scandal from a level of 10 to, from 1 to 10. That was like a 10 out of 10. But again, there is a disparity when it comes to how punishments are treated in Japan when it comes to female and male entertainers. And male entertainers tend to come back not too long after. Some, of course, wrecked their careers, but in this case, unfortunately, it's led to her losing her management contract and being booted off the show. Well, actually, she stepped down. That's just want to clarify that. So the show will continue until February of next year. So her departure midway is no doubt a blow to the storyline. The only thing I could think of is maybe they come up with a storyline of killing the character off, and finding another replacement. I do not know what's going to happen. Or, I don't know. We've seen things before in Sentai series where a character was unfortunately killed off. And there are a few Sentai series where there's some sad storylines. But yeah, it'll remain to be seen of how this will affect the story going on through February. I know they had to edit the opening video and cut out scenes in the main story, but I don't know. Will they cut out what has already been filmed? Because they tend to film in advance. And unfortunately, it's also likely to affect merchandise sales and hero shows, because this was actually an iconic hiring to have the first female as a Black Ranger. So I thought that was pretty special, and I was actually looking forward to seeing this series. But I don't know. Let's just hope that something, at least there's some silver lining, right? So we'll see what happens. Well, we're over the 20 minutes, and I think if anything, this is something that, again, is something that could be debated. It's something that has gone on for so long in Japan. And again, the disparity of punishments that female and male talents get. But yeah, this is another storyline of another person. And whether you feel it's rightfully or wrongfully done, just know that you just have to hold out hope that she finds a career and that she's able to stay strong. She needs that support, family, friends, and her fans during this tough time. We all make mistakes, and I'm just hoping that that things work out. Okay, everyone, you take care, and I will see you later. Wink, wink, and
The following News in Japan podcast of the J and Radio podcast with your host KNDY can be heard on YouTube. Also, please visit KNDY-san's YouTube channel. For more Japanese entertainment news in English, please visit Neo Tokyo 2099. See you next time. Bye bye.